Okay, good morning, gamers. Starting off with another Wan Shi Tong build. I've liked this card. Finding the right shelf for it's been pretty tough. The Demir, I like the Demir build a lot. I think that if we were gonna like, I want to see how well this card performs in challenge. That's the build we play right now. But I just have this vision for a version like this. Um, I think with Wan, you really want to be playing cards that naturally trigger it, so that you aren't just reliant on your opponent triggering your Wan and or playing around it. It is nice in theory that you could top deck it in the late game and draw a bunch of cards, although we just haven't drawn it that often in the late game so far. But I think you really want to pair this with Field of Ruin, White Orchid Phantom, Cleansing Wildfire, the new Cleansing Wildfire. I'm not super excited about Path to Exile, but it feels like having about 8 ways to trigger it's a pretty good number. Field especially good because this effect forces a search no matter what. So even if they want to fail to find, even if they have no basics left, you still get to draw a card off one. Um, Now I was impressed with Aang Swift Savior when we played the Esper Flash deck. I wasn't very impressed with Flicker Wisp. I wasn't really impressed with kind of the lack of early interaction necessarily, although it wasn't the worst ever. And also kind of ultimately like the Slitherwith stuff is just kind of clearly worse, I think, than Phelia. Riddler, which is something we thought, but I think it's good to test it out anyways. Um, and so, but I did really like Aang. I like that Aang pitches to Solitude and Subtlety. Aang is also just a very versatile card. Not you can of course just like slow down your whatever spell your opponent plays this turn, but like exiling an Ajani token, targeting a Flage Escape is really nice because then when they play it again, it goes back to the graveyard. Lots of construct tokens, or at least with affinity running around, it's pretty good against that. It's also very good just to either save your own thing from a removal spell, like you just get to protect it, or you get to reuse an ETB effect from a Riddler or a Subtlety or a Solitude or a Phantom. Very versatile card, and we also ended up transforming Aang a lot of times in the late game to just kill your opponent. Although in this deck, I'm without Bowmaster, I'm a bit worried about our ability to do that. There was a while I was trying to play like Guide Pride and like a more normal in a more normal like quantum energy kind of build. I feel like you can build the deck that way and you can play Aang, but it's very hard to play Wan Shi Tong and enablers for it and Guide Pride and Pinnacle Emissary or Starfield Shepherd potentially. You don't have to play Starfield Shepherd, but like you have to make like multiple cuts. It's not just cutting one of those cards. You have to make multiple cuts to fit one and Aang in the deck. So still working on that. Might still play it, but let's go ahead and get started. Keeping this one. No Arid and Guyana tragically. Yeah, I mean I think that card kind of sucks. I don't know. It's like a lot of the flash cards are so situational. It's like Solitude Subtlety especially. It just feels like if I don't know. I just am not a believer in that card. I just don't really even see the appeal. So my opponent's led on a Bloodstained Mire here. I hate Greasefang because of the Arena Historic format. That's funny. Otherworldly Gaze. Graveyarding an Oculus. We are very cold on Earth here. We have a Steam Vince in the deck to be able to Prismatic Ending X equals 3. So if I see exactly Quantum Riddler on top, I'm gonna Subtlety. And I don't, of course. I think we're going to keep that on top, and then I think we will Prismatic Ending this turn. You know what deck would love Airship? Your Black-White Vampire list. Wow. I mean, you're not wrong, but I don't know that I don't know that that's the best place to keep working on it. I think I'm just gonna Prismatic Ending again so I can save the Solitude for whenever they top deck a reanimation spell for the Oculus. I can also maybe get a Surveil off. They have a Force of Negation. I guess maybe not a Force of Negation here. They're probably thinking about discarding a card for value. Maybe they have like an Oculus in their hand and they're thinking about discarding a card so that non-fetch land top deck could let them cast an Oculus. Not playing Momo in this build. I think you can play Momo if you're playing Starfield Shepherd, and I think the right number is probably 1, and the number we'll probably start off with is 2, just to test it a little bit more often. Um, but I think like I think it's like a fine Starfield Shepherd tutor target that you're also like reasonably happy to draw. A lot of the time, if you have both Riddler and and Shepherd, and maybe also Aang. Aang is like kind of good to main phase sometimes, so you do get to actually some help from just discounting it on your turn if you main phase the Aang. But you can't. The Momo discount doesn't work on your opponent's turns. All right, double Thoughtseize. They take the Riddler, they take the Phelia. Then they play a sync. This was their draw for turn. So I'm going to operate under the assumption that they have an Oculus in their hand, so I'm going to try to find the 4th land to hold up the Subtlety. Although there's of course the problem that my opponent knows I have Subtlety, so it's not like this is in any way something that they'll probably play into if they have the Oculus, but it's good to kind of like invisibly, or I guess you should say visibly, stop it. Momo on turn 1 gives you Pitch Solitude. Momo on turn 1 gives you Pitch Solitude with Aang Swift Savior. Like, yes, you can pitch it to Solitude. Is that the joke? And they put the Emperor on the bottom, which is interesting. It seems like a good top deck, although maybe they're just wanting to find a land. And then let's hold up the Hardcast Solitude again. Kind of expecting that Emperor to have been bait for the Subtlety. They do know about the Solitude also. With an airship in my blue-black Sim deck with Tomio and Emery, I think I think there's a lot of shells you can play it in, and I think that is one of them. I'm certainly open to it. I do miss playing Basim. I think Basim is good. I like the Basim plus the Mox. It gives you like a turn 3 airship. The format is kind of weird too, where the format is like really grind. It's like the format is really grindy, and then there's Amulet Titan is that's not exhaustively what's going on, but that it feels like a lot of what's going on. Okay, so I think they just found Unearth in their upkeep, and they are allowing themselves to hardcast an Oculus next turn is kind of the vibe. We have to Solitude this, of course. A little bit worried about getting hardcast Oculus next turn. Going to attack them for 6 down to 9. I guess we get to see if they have 2 more basics in their deck. Did the last trophy prediction get paid out yesterday? We did not trophy yesterday, so I'm going to go ahead and pay no. I haven't built Wilderness Wreck Wan Shi Tong. I keep trying to play a bunch of Field of Ruins in it, and then I get upset that there's not any. That I'm upset that the mana is bad, and I'm upset that the I have a lack of good removal, and then I start to get upset about the general lack of good removal in Modern. there seems like every day it feels like there's less and less good removal spells. So they're down to 5. They're gonna have 2 blockers. They could block Subtlety, Solitude, go to 1, and then they have 2 blockers next turn. They'll have 3 attackers. So I'm working on it. We'll see what we get there. Big top deck for me. A lot of good draws. I was right about them having the hardcast Oculus, by the way. Doesn't seem like there's really any difference between this being a 3/3 and a 2/2, since it's going to be, or sorry, a 3/3 and a 4/4, since it'll be a lethal attacker no matter what. So let's see if we can find Ephemerate. Oh, or I guess Prismatic Ending also wins. Okay, what would be a good removal spell if you could do it on designing one? I don't love to do the custom Magic stream so much. It's just like I'll say what the problem is. There's like kind of 2 or 3 main problems. And I guess maybe the whole problem is Quantum Riddler. Like Quantum Riddler, actually, just the fact that it comes down so early and it dodges every removal spell with the exception of Unholy Heat. And Quantum Riddler is also very good against removal in general. Has made removal tough. Prismatic Ending also, Prismatic Ending can never get rid of Quantum Riddler, but it also doesn't deal with Phelia. So, like, if your opponent's... I know we're playing it here, but this is one big problem with Prismatic Ending, which is just still the best in slot 1-mana removal. And it also has a lot of upsides, too. But just, like, if your opponent is going to go Phelia into Riddler, your 1-mana removal spell doesn't break it up. That's a problem. Fatal Push never killing any of this stuff is a problem. Discharge is maybe one of the better ones, but you have to be playing an Energy package. Heat is good. You have to be playing Delirium package. So, like, red removal is good, but it's very narrow, I guess, is the thing. So I switched the rest in pieces for the Sanctifiers, which is definitely not as good against this kind of build. If they're playing Otherworldly Gaze, I do wonder if they're playing Persist. I think I'm gonna play this Teferi. They're only playing two basics, so I'm happy to be playing these Phantoms. I think down an ending, up a Teferi. Probably that's fine. Solitude is maybe the best removal spell still, or has become the best removal spell. That I don't know. So it's also kind of weird too, where if you were to print a better removal spell in black or a better removal spell in white to kind of compete with the red, or if you were to put one really good removal spell to keep up in this format, I wouldn't necessarily even love that, because I just kind of to some extent I really enjoyed the dynamic of like the push versus ending versus like discharge / heat for a while. I thought that was kind of a cool dynamic to figure out what the best option at the time was. I guess I'm gonna put back the second field. The thing is, the second field seems like it's gonna be really good. Yeah, I'm gonna put back the second strand, and I think we'll be okay. Yeah, and like one big problem with Path to Exile is the card is like embarrassing against energy. Energy is also popular again. At least Wan makes Path reasonable. It makes it more reasonable. Like it's just upsetting. Also, keep saying upsetting, but like when your opponent goes Guide of Souls, Ocelot, Pride, Ragavan on turn 1, and your removal spell is Path to Exile, it's tough. It's really really tough when that happens, and it happens a lot in this format too. You sit at home all week typing online, Path to Exile is so good with Wan Shi Tong, and then you go to Ephemerate and you have freaking Path to Exile against Ragavan turn 1, and you're like, oh dang it. I'm 2-for-1ing myself really impactfully on turn 1. It's just so tough. And then Boros makes such good use of the extra mana too. Harkitus with the mod redemption. Should maybe even change this to become just a mod, huh? And they take the Riddler. If bouncing a land is clearly weak of a cost, looking at days, would sacrificing a land be too weak a cost? I know you're asking about Mind Collapse, but I don't think Mind Collapse only deals 5 damage. I guess I'm a little confused. Days is free counter spells are also like really different from free removal spells, especially proactive free counter spells that can protect your own stuff are just generally really unique and really powerful, which is a big part of Days' power level. All right, Surveil Bug here. I do VIP. Yeah. The VIP has been full for a long time, so and I'm not even. We would need a lot of subs. The sub count's like pretty down from the honeymoon still, so it would be a lot of subs until until anybody can be VIP again. Think these are both new cards. Yeah. Thank you, Activity Enjoyer, for the three stream watch streak. I'm glad y'all really latched onto that one. And before Snuff Out, I mean, Snuff Out is really, really nuts. So I don't know. I do think it's not that you can't build a good extirpate. What the hell? It's not that you can't build a good interactive deck in Modern. It's just that your choices have become punished maybe for keeping the field. I mean, they did take the Phantom with the Thoughtseize because I just have enough to start stone rating them. It's just a bit harder than it used to be, and it used to feel like you would be kind of just fine if you would splash white for removal, red for removal, black for removal, and sometimes some were better than others, but lately it's just so less clear. Are Surveillance Thoughtseize bug for real? Just a meme? It's a meme. In fact, it's even more than a meme. It is playing into what's called I got an A in my freshman psychology class, but it's confirmation bias. So it's like when it happens, your brain notices it more, and you put more weight and care into it. So with the Graveyard Push and Persist, I'm just gonna go ahead and field now. Your brain puts more weight on it when I guess I have -2. I keep losing my train of thought. I have -2 Phantoms and +4 Wan Shi Tongs in the deck, so I'm gonna get the island here. Your brain puts more weight and emphasis on it when it happens, so it seems like it happens more often than it does. Like when the surveil doesn't happen, your brain doesn't think about it as much. Maybe a comeback for Terminate if there's a good black red deck. Yeah, maybe. Although it's just one thing. Also, is just spending 2 mana on a removal spell, and when like the 1 mana creatures are so good, is a little bit tough. I have been liking Shieldred's Edict some. Like I like the Edict against the Ephemerate decks. Is able to like always kill the thing even if they have Ephemerate, and so like that's one advantage over Terminate, but obviously you get to pick the thing, which is nice. Playing Cavero, Bind Bitten. They have a Force of Negation in the graveyard. They might have like Mystical Dispute. I think I'm just okay to slam the Teferi. They don't know about it. Solemn with the 40. Think you'll come back. They might have, if they have Force also, that's okay with me. No, opponent's not dredging. Some of the Dimir players have just been playing Otherworldly Gaze to like try to be faster, which is not something usually I recommend. All right, let's go and just Solitude the Bowmaster, and I think I'm going to pitch the Solitude. Bowmaster is very good at the moment, also. A little bit weak to a second Bowmaster. 3 cards in their hand. Another one of these. So they maybe have a Persist in their hand if they're casting these so aggressively, or Unearth, right? Thanks again, Psalm, for the 40 months. I've read of 8-pitch Esper Flash, Blaster Sea, Bale, through the Fear of Flying. Yeah, we played the Esper Flash deck, or a Esper Flash deck, and I kind of liked it. So my opponent did keep a card on top, which means we could Otherworldly Gaze. Feel to prevent the Otherworldly Gaze. They might flash it back, and they might put more cards on top, but it's also maybe just kind of nice to leave up all this mana. Oh, they're not. They have Teferi in play. They're not flashing it back. Yeah, we'll Subtlety. I think we'll Subtlety. We could also we'd also Field and Prismatic Ending, but we could do that next turn if they put this on top. They also might have Persist now in their hand and an Archon, and this is their way of getting this in the yard, so that could be kind of interesting. And they can see it, so we're 1-0. Easy match. I'm not really a believer in playing Otherworldly Gaze in these Dimir decks. Y'all know I've always been a big hater of that card unless you're playing Dredge. I think it's good in Dredge. We've got a hand that is good against my opponent's 4-0. Their last thing playing Domain Zoo. I don't hate this hand. I feel like this is just a Surveil land keep. Wan Shi Tong popping off in Modern much? I've liked it. I think we have a Dimir deck that I really like and believe in. If it's possible, I want to play that in the challenge. If I was going to play a challenge yesterday and I decided not to, I was going to play the Dimir Wan Shi Tong build. But I really need to. I think one thing I really want to determine this week is, do we like the Dimir build? Do we like the maybe we're playing Jeskai. Obviously, it's really awkward. They just let on a fetch. I think I'm going to keep this. But we need to determine, do we like the Dimir build? Do we like the... I'm going to bluff Phelia here also. Do we like the Dimir build? Do we like the Izzet build? Or do we like this blue-white build? I think that we've determined that you really want to be 2 colors. To me, 2 colors seems really important so that you can... play Field of Ruins. Field of Ruins seem to be so nice with Wan Shi Tong. Although I'm also kind of thinking in the Izzet deck, maybe you don't want to play Field of Ruins since you have the 8 wildfires. Maybe in that deck specifically, the advantage is you get to play a lower land count and you get to have lands that always tap for all your colors in your kind of color intensive deck. So a lot of question marks. We have tested Azula. I'm at the moment thinking Azula is very, 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 very cool and worse than Ruby Storm for the most part. Flooded Strand Domain, is it a frogless? Could be. Oh no, we're going to get Doorkeeper Thrilled here. We do have Prismatic Endings in the deck for the Thrill. Every day I wake up and I'm weak to Doorkeeper Thrill. Do you think Hymn to Turok would bring Black Rocks back? Okay, so I'll say this about Hymn to Turok, so it's safe to reprint. Hymn to Turok is an awfully designed card. It's overpowered for modern. It's also one of the cards I think that would lead to. It's a card that leads to awful, miserable, what the fuck games. My opponent cast him. They took my best two cards randomly. The game is over. It's like him to Turok is very unbalanced, very unfun, and it's the kind of card that makes no sense to reprint. I also like just in general, printing overpowered legacy cards has never been a reasonable way to improve the modern format. Improving the modern format has, like it only ever happens, I think, with new interesting cards um, or unbanning cards that were cool and iconic and at one point were too strong but are now a bit better balanced. It's like it just has never made any sense to, I think, to have the attitude of let's legalize a broken old legacy card to specifically just to help an archetype that's struggling. Doesn't really make any sense. I do think another new discard spell could be printed to help these archetypes, but let's just print a balanced one. Oh right, the stupid doorkeeper throw. I mean, I think I'm probably still running this out anyways, but did my stupid hymn to Turok rants. Maybe I should have just fielded. Maybe I'm dead. Yeah, I think even if I draw Prismatic Ending, we're cooked. Just a little flooded. Maybe could have mulliganed. So I'm going to bring in Teferi. I'm going to bring in Wear Tear. Don't we have him in Modern? Yeah, there's one that has Delirium, but it's, a lot worse than him to Turok, of course. So I want like 2 Consigns since I've got the Wear Tears and the Teferi. I think I'm going to cut all the Phantoms. The stats are kind of bad against Doorkeeper Thrall. And they play a couple basics anyways. Although, we can't run them out of basics. But also sometimes they just leave like their fetches uncracked. I like that Aang is really good against Leyline. It's something I like. Maybe if I have Aang, I don't need Consign. I also want like 2 Sanctifiers for Flage. Maybe I could trim a 1. Isn't Doorkeeper 1/2? It's so Phantom has good stats against exactly Doorkeeper. The problem is Doorkeeper is like it's not a card you can contain in this matchup with just the stats. It's not a card that you like, okay, my creature, my White Orchid Phantom is going to be bigger than your Doorkeeper Thrall, so I can just contain it. Like we have to Prismatic Ending Doorkeeper Thrall. Our pitch count's low? No. Alright, not a bad mull to 5. Think we put these 2 back? Want to be able to kill a Leyline. Why does he know Ragavan? Guess we'll keep that. Man with 14 months, thank you, welcome back. Is Flagstones / Indestructible Lands not worth it to ramp with Phantom? So Flagstones with Phantom is usually pretty nice. Having the double blue Wan Shi Tong makes it much more difficult to include in the mana base than it would usually than how tough it would usually be to include. Okay. I think we can maybe get them here, depending on what they have. Yeah, but it's like if you're playing Field and you're playing Wan and you're playing Phantom, I think that's just too many lands that only tap for white. You don't have enough blue sources. Yeah, every day I wake up and Doorkeeper Thrall is like the best imaginable card against me. So they play the Steam Vents untapped. Then they bolt. That was a long tank. Just gonna run this out. Obviously, you wouldn't just run your cards out when you have Riddler in your hand. Maybe if this was a land, we would wait a turn. Ah! So looking for Field of Ruin, Prismatic Ending, Teferi. I could go Riddler, Ephemerate, and then I could start drawing extra cards on my turn. And then if they have Binding to break this up, they have binding to break this up. I do have the wear tear, so I think because I have wear tear, we'll do it. Obviously, it's a very tough, but I think this is just the move of this game when we're on a mulligan and on the play. Spike don't. I mean, listen, we're super behind. You have to take the high upside play. It's like we're very unlikely to win this game, no matter what. Sometimes, and I think when you're in those spots, you just have to like take the high upside line sometimes. I know the Riddler doesn't draw cards. What line did you want to take? But the Riddler will draw cards on my draw step. It'll start drawing extra cards. It'll also be a 4/6 flyer. If they have the binding to stop me from drawing extra cards with the Riddler, I have wear tear. Said all this already. Ooh, drew a card. All right, 101. Okay, on the draw against Sekihira. I guess on the draw against Sekihira, we'll keep this. I guess we would keep anyways. Good. Should be able to yield. So they just get control with no no Ragavan, no Phelia, no Riddler, no second land, no second land. Graveyard land number 4. I'm feeling a little greedy, or maybe greedy is not the right word. I'm feeling like my opponent is likely to have a Galvanic Discharge if they're going to keep a one-lander. So I think I want to run out the Phantom before I run out the Wan. I don't know if Kihira allows birds. Nightmare, Dinosaur, Beast, Cat, Elemental. And there's not even a Doorkeeper Thrall in play. Yeah, not going to Subtlety that. Think we're getting Ephemerated, probably. Oh, no, okay, we'll take that. They pitched an Orem's Chant. Now, I guess we should, I mean, they got Plains also, but not really seeming like they have the discharge, huh? All right, just discard a card. And then I think we'll just upkeep, play the Wan. They drew a non-fetch land, but we could Field of Ruin it. Oh, but they have the Prismatic Ending, so pretty punished on the timing, I guess. I think we'll just chill. Field end of turn if we don't Subtlety a Teferi. Resolves. Yeah, seems like a good time to go for Riddler Ephemerate. We get to draw an extra card if we end up subtletying a Solitude. I want to respond to this trigger, so if they Solitude and I Subtlety, I draw the extra card. So we're gonna Subtlety a Fun Raveler. Oh, I think we let that go. Like having the hardcast Subtleties up is just so good here. Ooh, it's a fun one. Could also just Prismatic Ending it. Maybe that was even better. So if they Prismatic Ending the Phelia, I can Aang it and then replay the Phelia. I guess we'll just chill. I think I'll flicker the Riddler. I got time. Is my opponent's last card an Ephemerate, do you think? If I airbend either of their things, yeah, I guess I don't think I think I just need to airbend the Riddler. It's a bit bad if their last card's an Ephemerate. I guess that's better than the average draw. I doubt they play Ephemerate. That's a good point, yeah. Thinking of Consign, maybe, and like counter this, counter the Evoke. Aang has been good. I've liked Aang a lot. They find their fourth mana. It's a Monumental Hinge. And they Daze Undoing. Okay, that's almost certainly their best possible last card here. Okay, I guess. Just going to attack, not target anything with the Phelia, and I can waterbend Aang into a creature if my opponent doesn't play anything that I want to airbend. Although maybe I should just flip the Aang. Fujin Blaze with the 8 months. Thank you. Welcome back. They reveal it's a fairy with the Narset there. Yeah, I think flipping Aang was probably better. I think I was too focused on leaving this one up. So I do think they're going to kick a chant, and then if we Aang, they need to have a subtlety or they're dead. Nice. Yeah, Aang has been really good. I think it's a very slept on card at the moment. So Prismatic Ending can clear their Planeswalkers, which is probably pretty important. I think we'll probably play 3 or 2. Consign is pretty good against the Subtlety Solitude deck with no Ephemerates, so I think I'll play 2 or 3. Maybe cutting the Phantoms, maybe going down to 2 Pendings, 3 Phantoms. Seems okay. I could have done a Solitude, actually. I think the Phantom early pressure is kind of nice. This Airbend has to follow timing restrictions, yeah, but they can play instants at instant speed still. Yeah, 42, the meaning of life. Thank you, Fluffy Face, and thank you again, Blaze. Ing seems good in the energy version too, because Flip him could go Pride. Yeah, I was kind of thinking that as well. So one thing I think is that if you play Aang in the energy build, you probably just can't play Wan. I think that the deck is a bit too full, especially because Wan also makes you want to play like 1 or 2 more lands than you would otherwise play in that kind of deck. So I mean I think that's okay that not every card has to play Wan, but at the moment it seems like Wan requires more enablers than I thought it did, but I still like the card. Put it on a mold of 6. Plays a tapped archive. You're gonna really, I mean, they usually play like 4 or 5 basics. I think I'm gonna keep the ending. I think we are pretty cool to like a turn 3 Teferi or Narset. Spike, do you have a top 5 avatar cards yet? All right, everybody. Today we're making another top 5 list. My top 5 avatar cards are Phoenix Airship #1, and then the copy of Phoenix Airship, and then the other 3 copies of Phoenix Airship. Tune in next time for another Aspiring Spike top 5. Do a consign? Yeah, you get a Steam Bits. My opponent has boarded into Flage. They had Kahira game one. I just noticed they didn't reveal Kahira. And now they've boarded in Flage. I feel like we can just keep him off of it. I'm not really too scared of the Flage. The Flage is a very odd card to board in. Against all the fields. They have a dispute. They get another basic island with this Flage in their yard. This listed well at the RC. They have 3 Flage sideboard. Very peculiar. Now they reveal a Teferi. So I think I should be holding up Subtlety this turn. Although we do get got by Days Undoing. It only had 2 red sources. Well, certainly was not right to board these in then. If it's only 2 red sources, which a single Field of Ruin will stop them from ever being able to play this. Now they find a second copy of Dispute, which I guess I have to run into. I could evoke Subtlety. I think that's probably not the move. So I can't Prismatic Ending and Phantom. I think I'm okay to field and Phantom this turn. So we can get we can Surveil end of turn and then get Steam Vents. All right, Days Undoing against the red sources back in the deck. There you go. It's an island? It's a plains. It kind of looks like an island with the way this was tapped there. Very beautiful lands. Edge of Eternity's best set ever. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna ending Teferi and then cast a Phantom. I know the Narset's good against the Riddler, but we've got 2 creatures to pressure the Riddler. Maybe a Thindar deck here. If they do just have a 3rd red source in the deck and they like change the list, that would be pretty good. See, they got 5 cards in their hand. Another Fun Raveler? Another Fun Raveler. Sure. I'm really interested in getting their basic land count also. Okay, you can't even see the 2 planes are tapped here. It's like completely invisible. I know they're just gonna minus the Teferi, that's okay. Evoke Solitude end of turn is kind of weird. I guess they have Days Undoing. They must have Days Undoing, but how can they have Days Undoing? They would have cast it last turn. Okay, they just messed up. Like I feel like they would just want to main phase that. Or like at least see what they draw. Like there's just no reason to end of turn evoke there. Probably gonna lose this one. The second dispute was like so insane. I have a feeling we're gonna see a Kahira reveal for game 3, by the way. Oh, no, okay, they do have 3 red sources, so I think I'll concede to that. And I do think we'll be able to keep them off the 3 red sources. I'm gonna play 3rd Pending over 3rd Solitude. Mulligan the 1-lander. Keep this one. Ashiok, mayhaps? I don't know. Probably okay. I just don't think that the Flages, like assuming that they do just have 3 red sources, we've got 8 field effects. We also have Subtlety. And so like just turning off fetch lands. I mean it does also hit the the Flage, so maybe I'm undervaluing that. Yeah, they did not reveal Kahira, so they kept the Flages in, presumably. Unless it's just big brain, no reveal Kahira, make me think there's still Flage in the deck. It's kind of fun. All right. Totally okay trading this for Solitude also. No, we get the card. I don't mention Ashiok because I bring him in almost every game. Yeah, I mean, I do. If you would bring in Ashiok almost every game, consider main decking Ashiok. Right. So nice 2-for-1 here. Second red source. Let's hold up Consign for a Subtlety or Solitude. Not very likely that they would play one of those, but seems a little bit free. Now, if they do play Teferi or Narset, we could evoke Subtlety, then shuffle it away. Redirect Lightning. Huh, so if they redirect onto my Steam Vents, now I can't Prismatic Ending. I can't Prismatic anything at all this game, so I get super punished for playing the Steam Vents first. So I guess I can sign this. Very cool. Redirect Lightning has not been very good for me so far, but it is a card that's like very high variance and is one I want to keep testing a little bit. How hard do we want to play around Spell Snare? Hit their third land. No Planeswalker, maybe? That's good. It's our last Prismatic Ending. Opponent's down to 8. Having the Prismatic Endings on our opponent's down to 8, bit awkward. Why stifle the ETB effect if we have basics? I said this then, I'll say this again. This is our only red source in the deck. The main reason the Prismatic Ending is in our deck is so we can Prismatic Ending the 3-mana Planeswalkers. If they kill my Steam Vents, I'm unable to the rest of this game to Prismatic Ending a 3-mana Planeswalker. Which was the reason. So if I field, they can Solitude. Yeah, no worries. I think I have double Prismatic Ending in the hand. I just have to let this go, I think. Now I think we'll go Wan X equals 1. X equals 0 could have been better for playing around Dispute, but I think I want to have this be 2 power if they just counter the Phantom instead for some reason. Is this a Reprieve? Kind of funny to just see 2 Reprieves where we didn't see a Reprieve up until this point in this match. So it's down to 3 life. We got 5 cards in their hand though. Plus is the Teferi. Plays an Arid Mesa. Consults the star chart. Not kicking. Let's go to combat. They go down to 2 life. Untapped planes. Subtlety hardcast. So I'm going to X equals 3, so my 1 is bigger than Subtlety. Could also have killed the Thundering Falls, so their red removal spells are off. Doesn't seem like they have like much removal in their hand though, right? I guess it doesn't die to Flage anymore, but it still does to discharge. So they have a Narset. We can't Subtlety, obviously. And they don't plus. They love that play. I draw my own Teferi, and then they kick a day. They Days Undoing on my draw step. Damn. Tough. Tough, tough, tough. But I was thinking about main decking a bunch of Serenades because Aang can Serenade the token. It can also block the token really well because it's a 2/3 flyer. I think I'm not quite there yet. Maybe we should have some number in the mix. Gotta keep this. Like I was thinking just playing Serenade over Prismatic Ending. Do you think you could make the Appa combo modern competitive? No, it seems not modern power level. It seems like it's like very mana intensive and very clunky and fragile. It's cool. Switch a field of ruin for another shock for Prismatic Ending. I don't think you really need another shock. The fields are also really important for Wan Shi Tong, which is, you know, a new card we're still trying to play test, right? It's just important that we continue to try to maximize the new cards to some extent. So we're up against a Soul Trader combo. Unclear exactly what the build looks like. Might be ours, might be somebody else's. But I'm assuming Flare of Malice is Soul Trader 9 times out of 10. I've not been on the other side of Airship very much. Nice, Beth. Yeah, streaming. If it's around this time, I'm almost always streaming. GG's. I'm going to end the tank here. If they pass, they're going to have a Bowmaster. After thinking this long. Ollie Putt with the 29 months. Thank you. Welcome back. This is a long think. Tink, tink, tink. Gravecrawler. Sacks the Crawler to Phyrexian Tower. Thoughtseize. So this is basically filtering the Gravecrawler into another black mana, so maybe they can Thoughtseize again, or just maybe play another Gravecrawler. We're gonna lose Riddler immediately. And then they let that other black mana go to waste. Well, it seems like maybe they're choked on black mana. I'm also very worried about them going like playing the 1 mana zombie that dies to make a treasure, and then I'm worried about them just casting an airship here. So I'm gonna field the tower. They also just might have a second tower, right? Because we were playing 4. I bet they're playing 4. Does Ice Shield? Yeah, I was thinking about Ice Till, Wan Shi Tong, and also Cub in the same deck. The idea of being like recurring ghost. Yeah, they do just have a second tower. The idea, of course, being that recurring Ghost Quarter is good in your Wan Shi Tong deck. I guess now we don't care about a Bowmaster. One big issue with building a deck like that is that you either have to be really fast, have a combo finish, or play interaction for creatures for that kind of deck to be able to compete with Boros. And when I was working on it, that's what I was getting kind of stuck on. Getting airshipped. Weird to be on this side of things. Terrifying. I've liked the Demir Wan Shi Tong the best. As for Flash was not particularly good, but Aang was good. So I guess we go to draw a second card here. Interesting. Why not pinning the Bowmaster last turn? I was thinking I might be able to block it with Phelia. Alright, so they got 3 cards in their hand. You see Mingu's Legacy Brew with Cub. No, I would take a look though, although I don't open X-Links. So they have a Witch's Cottage. Targeting Bowmaster. Then they Thoughtseize my Riddler. 1 card in their hand. Can they not trigger the airship? which is interesting. Sharps to the 27th. Thank you. Welcome back. Oh, did I lose audio? So I don't know what's going on with the audio. Oh yeah, they can also just attack for for 8 here if they want. I guess we chump block since the Bowmaster is going to kill the Phantom anyways. So we're down to 10. Opponent definitely has several, like just any land or Thoughtseize. Puts us in a spot where they don't have a great attack. They have a Cling to Dust. It's a good top deck for them. Then they play a Gravecrawler. So they can attack. They can hit me down to 2 here at the cost of losing one of their airships. It's probably a good attack to make. All right, 2 of these are not tokens. Okay. Let's block one of the non-tokens because of Phelia. We're down to 2 life. Need to draw like a Solitude. Is that like a Solitude? Kinda. We're still dead on board, but maybe we'll make our opponent kill us. I think we hold this in hand because we don't want to trigger Bowmaster and we want to bluff like we have more stuff. Don't they have lethal with Gravecrawler from the grave? Oh, yeah. I guess I should have targeted the Gravecrawler. Although they missed it last turn. If we exile Bowmasters, we can draw. Yeah, I'm just trying to look a little stronger. Maybe like I have Hardcast Solitude up. It's kind of weird when you are and they're going for it. It's kind of weird when you are bluffing to survive. Like you kind of have to make suboptimal plays sometimes. All right, so we're gonna bring in the Sanctifiers, maybe over the Phantoms. Wrath Disguise is also probably a pretty good option. It's gonna be tough to clean up airships with it though. Wear Terror very good against airship. So I think I'm gonna cut all the Phantoms. They do block kind of good. They have plenty of basics. Maybe down to 1 Aang. Maybe down to 1 Wan. Let's go down to 1 Wan if they have Bowmasters and we're down on Phantoms. Seems down one's fine. Could also play a Teferi. I don't think Teferi is very good at containing airship. It's sometimes okay to bounce some of their 3-drops and stuff. Pinning the Bowman and Blink the Riddler. Yeah, we just have no outs, right? If we flicker the Riddler. I guess maybe if we drew another pending, it was live. Don't know if we had enough mana for that. Maybe we did. Yeah, loving the Avatar set. All right, keeping this on the play. Hopefully you don't get Thoughtseize this time. If you played a land and blinked, you drew 2. I thought... Did I have 2 or 3 lands? I guess I had 2. I guess we did have enough. Yeah, I guess we could have also drawn Solitude white card. I guess that was the play instead. Unless we couldn't have done that. Yeah, the airship deck's really sick. I've got a build that I think looks pretty exciting too. A new build. So they're gonna take my Riddler, I assume, since we have redundancy with Ephemerate. Although we also have Solitude Ephemerate, which is pretty good against them. Although not if they just have airship. And they take my Riddler. Let's surveil. I guess we're keeping that. So they've got 3 cards in their hand. It does feel kind of important that I get rid of both things so they can't Phyrexian Tower into airship. Maybe I'm a little paranoid of it. So it does seem okay for me to just Prismatic Ending the Marionette token, or the Marionette, and then exile the Servo token here. It does stop me from having Solitude Ephemerate available, but, just draw any white card. And this might be a game where I want to hardcast anyways. I guess attacking first might have been better because of Flare. Sorry, I didn't play around Flare. When am I gonna play the Price of Freedom decks? We played the mono red one yesterday, didn't go very well. We played the Is It one first. It went okay. I'm interested in playing more of the Is It one for sure. I'm interested in the mono red as well. I was kind of surprised it didn't go as well as it did. I'm thinking about maybe doing like the K command package there, even if that's kind of boring. Boom with the 5 months. Thank you. Welcome back. They're holding, so they're missing their fourth land. They're holding their fetch land. All signs point to airship here. I want to see. I want to maybe draw a white card or a blue card for subtlety or solitude for Bowmaster. Although they would have Bowmastered in response. Have I tried the Storm Ponzolus? Not yet. That's tentatively the third backup deck today. After this, the new mono black airship deck. I do want to get that one out of my system. So they're gonna play an airship. Will it solo us? Sad we didn't have the mana for Wan this turn. I'm gonna go ahead and draw a card instead of attacking. It's probably better on defense here, anyways. Now we can use this to make a 4/4/1 that will pretty quickly grow big enough to like vigilantly attack into airships here. They've got 3 cards in their hand. I guess this will only grow quick enough if they do play a non-basic land for me to target. I guess it's probably just correct to subtlety this for a turn. Maybe I would end up evoking subtlety also, and upkeep solituding. Probably not. Just wanted to keep that available. And now my one's going to be big enough to block an airship. I think we'll attack just for 4. Do you think Wan Shi Tong being legendary is a good design? Yeah, I think this is a card where I like it being legendary. This is an effect that is a bit annoying if it stacks. Maybe more than a bit annoying. I think probably not passing up on this spot here. They shouldn't have Phyrexian Tower in their hands, so we should be okay. Also, they can start triggering the airships with that in play too. We can't field away because they have no non-basics. Do I want to get aggressive and like solitude an airship after blocks? So like I attack for 10. They crew 2. Block here, block here. Yeah, the fact that we can just crew 2, I think makes that really not much of an option. So let's just get in with just. I guess if we get in with just Riddler, yeah, getting in with just Riddler doesn't even seem like an option either, because then they crew both of these, and I don't think I want a Solitude there. I think instead I'm just gonna play a Gigantic Wand. I think I have to get aggressive. Well, what exactly does that look like? I don't have an attack with all of my creatures. I just have an attack with Riddler, which just trades for 1 airship, which doesn't seem like where I want to be here. I'm a little bit confused why I didn't play the Gravecrawler 2 turns ago. If they crew both, you can kill both. I only have 1 Solitude. How can I kill both? Yeah, I think playing a Gigantic Wand is the move this turn. If they crew, if they crew both, we just Solitude 1. Sorry, yeah, we should have attacked with the Riddler. Duh. I don't know why I was forgetting that just combat damage would kill the airship. Of course. So this can deal with one of the tokens. Now we could go Aang and Ephemerate Aang to get rid of 2 tokens. And then we would only have 3 mana up. We could also go Solitude and Ephemerate. Aang and Ephemerate could be a bit better. Yeah, let's get in. Can airbend a token to make all non-creatures. You mean next turn when they get all the airships online? I think it's just so easy to crew these. Oh, so it looks like they started to accidentally pay cost for Soul Trader, but they just meant to crew a Soul Trader. So I can get rid of this one, force a chump block here, make them take 10 down to 1. And then making them take 10 down to 1 means that they will only have 1 airship in play and they can't activate Soul Trader. So I think it's probably best for me to do this before blocks. Aang battling against the Phoenix Fleet airship. All right, but they get to do this. So now if I ephemerate this and then they go, do they double block here, take 10? They probably don't do that. If they do that, then they can't activate the Soul Trader anyways, which I think is pretty important because that starts the loop again. So yeah, I'm just still gonna airbend. This way, if they make their best, I guess they'll maybe just will block subtlety, go to 10. Either way, going to 10. And they can go chump, not go to 10, but then they have no airships. Imagine having no airships. Chump trade, it's fine. 2 cards in their hand. Airship is so good. I'm gonna be very thirsty to use the subtlety again because of the Riddler. Also, maybe a little nice. We're out of Marionette Apprentice combo range. I think we're gonna get this one. Do they have any infinite combo? Apprentice, Gravecrawler, Soul Trader. If you have twice life of your opponent you kill, then if you have Sephiroth, it's infinite. Solemn with the 40-month resub. I'm not seeing it in the chat, but I do see it in the game log here. I mean, I said I was going to be thirsty to Subtlety a Gravecrawler. Thirsty to use Subtlety. I feel like going after Gravecrawler basically doesn't matter, and they could have Sephiroth, so playing around that's probably good. Can you evoke Subtlety to Waterbend Aang? It costs 8 to Waterbend Aang. Wait, they're sacking again? Why are they sacking again? To play another airship. I sent that an hour ago multiple times at once. Oh, weird. I don't know why I saw it again. I usually only triggers once a turn. Weird. London with the 21 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Make them search library. I can't make them search. They have to have a non-basic land. Okay, they just concede. I guess I was just gonna play another 2/2 here, but that was good enough. Yeah, I think we're good enough against their combo that I don't want to play Wrath the Skies for the airships. I think it's a bit too slow to try to contain. So it's a fun matchup. London with the 21 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, they were just dead even without the extra 2/2. Do you think Jeskai Control it's strong right now? I think Jeskai Control is fine. We just lost to it actually. All right, no white mana with our Sanctifier. Although we do have the Field of Ruin. Mulligan. Do I have it in me to mulligan 2 Sanctifier hands? This hand might be better than the average 5. We have Phelia, Riddler. We have the Subtlety pitch. I know this is a bit weird. I think I'm actually just going to keep this on the draw. I would mulligan this on 7. I think on the draw on 6 is probably just a reluctant keep. Jeskai Blink has been a deck that's been, really good for a long time now, and is that Jeskai Control? Is it something else? That's kind of up to you to decide, I guess, but it's been good. No shot. You would mull to 5 here? I don't know. I think this hand is better than the average 6. Spike is losing it. I don't know. Every time I keep a high upside one lander on the draw, y'all always freak out. But multi five suck. This hand has like every element to win if we draw a single white land, you know. And we're on the draw. We have a 24 land deck. I'm even just gonna show you all the math, I guess. I think this hand is also good if you draw, or fine if you draw a blue source. Maybe it's worse because you have to cycle the Riddler. But just population size 50. I guess we don't count the card we put on the bottom. Sample size, 2 successes. Let's say so it's 23 to draw any land. We're 70% to hit on our multi 6. Is this win rate higher than mulling to 5? I think yes. Although if you want to count non-Field of Ruin lands, the number is going to be 20. So it's 60%. I think this is also higher than your average multi 5. So there's the math. Don't think we subtlety this. Could multi-5 with Riddler is better. Well, you won't definitely have the Riddler. You also have to have like 2 lands and Phelia, or 3 lands and Ephemerate, right? We hit the land. Although we don't have a blue source for Riddler yet. It's like, obviously there are some 5-card hands that were better than this hand, but like kind of simply, I like this is just a really good number for me, a good enough number for me to keep on 6 and mull on 7. And I'm trying to be kind of helpful to y'all also, so y'all can keep hands like this and win more. I think keeping this hand, you're just gonna win more often than if you mulligan. Ooh, they can. Should I subtlety this because of the -1? I think I should. Don't think they're that likely to have a Soul Trader, and we have Solitude anyways. Yeah, plus we have pitch spells too. We just had just the Subtlety. We drew the Solitude first. I have a second Shambling Ghast. That's pretty bad. Failed to account for the might of Shambling Ghast on our mulligan decision here. They have 2 cards left in their hand. Plays another Gravecrawler. Ding, ding, ding. So they can't combo anymore. We're gonna get airshipped. Oh no, they have the airship. They must have just top decked this too, right? They would have played it last turn. Seems like I should respond to the trigger, get the extra card. Never punished. Well, you could say never punished. You could also say it was just a mathematical keep, which is what I was trying to say. You could disagree on that still if you'd like. Do I attack? I don't think I attack. So they've got 2 cards still in their hand. We've got the Riddler for blocks. We've got the Ephemerate on the rebound. We have 6 lands in our hand. 6 lands total somehow. What about Omni deck? We're waiting for news, that kind of deck. So funny, haha. I'm very confused what this is asking. They have a second airship? Wow. They're much better at drawing airship than I am. So it looks like they can only attack with 2 of them next turn, although then they're going to have 12 airships, which I'll never ever be able to defeat. So I don't know what my plan is. If I field the tower, are they screwed? Maybe fielding the tower definitely seems like the move this next turn. As far as to are they screwed, a single fetch land or another tower off the top is going to destroy me. Probably attack with the Sanctifier this turn. Yeah, maybe Wrath the Skies is a good answer for airships. That's just not something I know if that's true or not yet. Alright, so they got 1 card in their hand, new top deck, hopefully not a fetch land or a Soul Trader or a tower. It's a fetch land. So they're going to have 12 airships, and I can get rid of 2 of them. And I think I have no outs. So I guess I should have boarded in Wrath. Can't win. Let's play our own airship deck. I've got a new build, too. We are not dead at all. Well, we're not dead this turn, but we have no outs, so I'm moving it on. All right. Given that it takes 3 turns for airships to really pop off, seems like it should be fine. That the thing is, I think this is the misevaluation. Is that airship?